Alright guys, we're back with more of the letter and its enticing creepiness to boot. So I hope you all continue to enjoy watching, and with that said, let's keep this a-rollin'. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again. Right here, today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We have agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, the same one I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though it looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Antiquated. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of books cover the walls. It would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on the weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's a strange feeling, the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but there's distance, the kind born purely out of differing interests. That or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not possible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
Don't rush me. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it nevertheless and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
That's right, cause we got ourselves some money! The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we each serve our order. It isn't anything fancy. Plain roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side, or at least that's what the daily special board says. I never did pay attention to it whenever I come here, since they price whatever's written way above what I'm willing to spend on food on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Hey! Not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Let us say it, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it. Ah, yeah.
Okay, let me do that again. Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expression goes from sheer bewilderment to utter surprise. That's more like it.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I, Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos, am free from my instant noodle binge.
Seriously?
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
Yep.
Which house is this? In Anselm Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only. Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh, wow. That's...
She lets out a hum. Although she's nodding, she gives the impression of someone who has heard something unbelievable and is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Did she think we wouldn't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend or what?
You don't believe me?
The words tumble out of my mouth before I could stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat, and judging from the looks on their faces, it seems they are too. Me and my stupid mouth.
I'm sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
No, I do believe you. But don't you think the sale happened a bit too fast? The open house only started yesterday, and now you already have a buyer?
It happens from time to time.
Yeah, but look, I'm happy for you. Just yesterday, you've been really worried where to get money for your dad's new treatment. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. What if the sale doesn't push through, or I don't know, they're a fraud, or they suddenly back out? Isn't it a little too early to celebrate?
Rebecca does have a point, Bella. If you haven't closed the deal yet, there's still a chance they'll go back on it.
They don't seem like it to me. The lady appeared to really want it, and she approached me without even finishing the tour.
Pressured me into it, more like. But I'm not gonna tell Becca about that. Knowing her, she'd only worry.
And she already hired someone to handle the house's interior design.
You're joking. Who would do that?
The Wrights, apparently. It's actually pretty funny. She's a bit too excited to get the property, she forgot to buy it. At any rate, they've already signed the agreement today, so it's just a matter of time. And don't tell anyone about this, but Ma'am Hannah also gave us something extra.
Something as in...
A dinero. We got more money.
As in, it's why I can treat you two to a free meal.
I'm more surprised you accepted it.
She didn't really give us a choice in the matter. So don't lose sleep over this, okay? The couple really want the house. If Rose didn't stop them, they'd likely have paid up front for it yesterday. That's despite the legends, too. I even tried to show them the letter. But nope. I want this house, darling. Go take all our money.
You don't really think they believe that, do you? I'm pretty sure for them, those are just rumors as well. No one is that superstitious in this day and age, Belle. Well, there's you.
Right. You know what? I'll just eat all of these by myself.
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each still untouched. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
I'm kidding. Don't go all pouty on me again. I'm just concerned you'll get hurt if this doesn't happen. I know how badly you want to close this deal for your papa.
I'm sure he's gonna be fine now, though, with the money. They don't know yet. I think I'll call them tomorrow. Let them know things will be easier. Mama said this morning he's showing progress with the new treatment, too. It's just a matter of time.
I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there, but most of it is spent on catching up and telling stories about whatever's keeping us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
A pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately, Becca retreats in her inquiry as though the man's look is enough of an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zach, it has always been better to wait, let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent, Although with her, explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca!
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zach. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down on as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I do not ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say. If you could call that a critique, did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something.
Oh, don't let those reviewers get you down, man.
If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would at any unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't even mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He of all people should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam is in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining here? Help me here, your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. I haven't read what those people wrote about his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Whatever I'm about to say gets lost on my tongue, as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zach.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all, only a poor imitation of a puppy dog eyes, if you could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. Awards night ain't for another week.
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you've walked. It's not like it's over for me though. I still have time, I can still come back. Do my own thing, do what I really want to do. Surely once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha, very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it already explains everything. Then out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxbourne streets. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally ran out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumble plea for me to meet the right interior designer in her stead, and then...
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
Fantastic! We're going back! Yay! Classic Rose, she ends the call without even asking for my input. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather though, the streets of Luxborn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd filled the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me, Zach to a meeting with magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on the shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turn my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. Oh! She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing and pouring into my very soul like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. Oh man, that's disturbing. There are no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea. A hum. A low and indistinct. Compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. Oh, no. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, every thump, screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls. No thank you.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretching a grin wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contorts and she lets out a wail sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself. Well, she's just gonna have to accept that offense, because we're not gonna look any further, guys!
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. I kind of have the feeling that Becca saw it too, but she's thinking it's just a glimpse of whatever. You know, something that just left. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up. Anything to get this wretched sensation out.
You were screaming. Zach, call someone!
No, don't. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Gently, I push her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity is stifling. Everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, With only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. In my opinion, I think it's best to be outside with your friends than to be indoors at night in your own home, because for all you know, she could be there. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my niece closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... Enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Why do you still have that? Throw it away. Funny how an ordinary looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about, I just wish someone would listen. Well, it's a little late for that considering the people you care about saw the damn letter. Believe me, the abrupt break in silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish out my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions, where I've carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Zach's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon? Frankly, it's the last thing I want to discuss, but I did leave the two of them there without saying anything. Knowing Zach, I bet he's worried.
Hey, Zach.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you're not gonna pick up.
Sorry, it took me a while to find my phone.
No worries. You game tomorrow?
I pause. I don't recall making plans with Zach for the weekend.
Did I forget something?
Remember that guy I told you about? Back in the movies? The, priest? For the blessing? Does it ring a bell?
Oh, right. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble, especially after what happened with this film. Sometimes I forget how kind Zach can be.
Yeah, I remember. Is he fine with it?
My friend doesn't mind. We're lucky he's not busy. So, tomorrow, he'll meet us at the mansion.
Okay. Sorry for the trouble, Zach.
Hey, no problem. I'm the one who suggested it to begin with. And, well, this afternoon you did surprise us. Never seen you scream like that. You scared the hell out of Rebecca.
I guess I owe you a lot for this, huh?
Nah, we're cool. You had us worried. But I know you'll tell us about it eventually. I just want to make sure you're doing well. You left all of a sudden and you're not answering any of our calls.
He's trying to get me to talk. Normally I'd tell him I'm fine, say a few simple reassurances to put their minds at ease. Now nothing will form. I can't bring myself to say anything. He seems to have sensed my hesitation because he immediately changes the subject.
Yeah, anyway, I gotta go. I left something on the stove before making this call. Just soup. But it'd be embarrassing if I burned soup.
I doubt it. Ashton, on the other hand...
Oh, remind me to tell you about what he did with the pressure cooker next time. Oh, damn, it overflowed! Really need to get going. Bye, Bella.
He hangs up before I can thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes to the receiver. No one is saying this will work. Even I'm doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight, and for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Zach's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm already on my way to the Ermengarde mansion. To think that I'd have to go back again, I'd be lying if I say I'm excited. I don't have to anymore. Rose happily gave me a paperwork duty when I volunteered. We're on the last phase of the sale too. Well, almost. Papers to sign, documents to finalize, various other legalities to set up with the current owner, and all that Still. Never mind that its new owners want everything done within the week, when the process typically takes more than that. They want it done, we'll get it done. I really don't understand rich people. But money can do wonders. I won't be surprised if they'll be able to push the process just a little more like what they did to secure the house. The point is, I'm under no obligation to return to the house anymore. Running is an option, of course. I can now move on to another property and forget everything. However, at the end of the day, it's always my conscience that wins. What if something happens to those who have seen the letter? Ash, Zach, Becca, Miss Bacala, the Wrights. The guilt will follow me to my grave. Well, they have seen it. I don't know about Makala though. The mansion looms as we approach. Whispers welcoming me back. Shadows calling. I hope this is the last time. They are engaged in a quiet conversation when I find them in the mansion's front gardens. But even with a familiar company, it's impossible to feel at ease here. No matter who I'm with, the feeling of being watched is there, like the very place itself is aware of its trespassers. Zach, on the other hand, doesn't seem to notice. Or he simply doesn't care. Or he's already used to it. I can never tell with him. Sometimes he's almost as hard to read as Ash. Almost. At least Zach doesn't ask for much patience as dealing with Ash does, and that says plenty about him. Miracle of miracles how the two have ended up the best of friends. He waves at me as I approach. True to his promise, Zach has brought his friend with him. Father Norman. Somehow I expect him to look older.
Oh, don't be surprised. They say people who have found their calling are getting younger these days.
Sorry, Father. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
No offense taken, though I admit I'm a bit surprised. I didn't think someone would ask this house to be blessed after all these years.
You've heard of it, Father?
In passing. The occasional rumors and talk by the locals, nothing new. You don't spend years serving the church here without hearing a random hearsay here and there.
You never mentioned what you thought of those, Father.
Ah, but he who goes down to the grave does not come up. He shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him any more.
But what I saw...
May not be what you think. It depends entirely on what you mean by it. If you're talking about spirit beings, angels, demons, then yes. Are we talking about the spirits of people who have departed? The word makes it clear that once the deceased has left us, they are gone. But of course, I didn't come here to bore you with a lecture.
No, it was enlightening, Father. Thank you.
Just remember that a God who loves his children would never let them linger once the time comes.
That's what my papa often tells me.
Your father must be a good man. He raised you well, no doubt. Well then, shall we? Regardless of what it is, I'm sure the mansion's new owners would appreciate such sincere intentions. From a stranger, no less.
He lets Zach and I walk ahead. A relief. This way, he won't see how tightly I'm clutching the straps in my bag. Father Norman's probably trying to put me at ease, but the worry, the cold vestless foreboding feeling, has firmly lodged itself in my stomach, making its presence known with every step we take towards the house.
Hey, you okay?
Zach lightly nudges my side, careful, mindful of his motions to avoid startling me, no doubt. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to lie when Zach gives you that look. It's just there. The kind that implores, a silent appeal. I'm not sure if he's even doing it consciously. Another breeze blows and I try not to shiver. Try not to listen to the voices that may or may not be there.
Ugh, this place really gives me the creeps.
It doesn't seem more than an ordinary house to me, though. Damn, I should have brought my camera with me. I saw a few areas that'd be good for a shoot. You think the new owners will allow it?
Shh! What if you catch something? Or someone in one of the pictures?
It just means they want to be seen, doesn't it?
Don't ask for it!
It's not like we can stop them if they do.
You're really not helping, Zach.
All right, sorry. Don't worry. I don't think whatever's inside this house will do anything. I'm here, yeah? I'll take care of them. Or I think I can.
Oh my gosh.
You're not that scary, but thanks. I'll be sure to run behind you if I see one.
Ridiculous talk, though the temporary reprieve it lends is more than welcome. He offers me a smile in return, the least he could do. And with a slight motion of his head, he gestures for us to move ahead, while my own fears are left forgotten for the time being. The things inside my bag clatter softly against each other while I rummage for the keys to the mansion. I should have heard the telltale jiggle by now, but didn't I put it in my bag last night? Seconds later, I'm sitting on my heels, and one after another, I'm taking out everything from every pocket, every slip. It'll be a pain to put everything back later, but I'm sure it's just under these... nothing. Oh man, of all the times to forget.
Is something the matter?
No, I'm sorry, Father. I think I left the key.
No use coming up with excuses, and right after they'd both taken the time to go this far away from the city. With a heavy sigh, I grabbed the door handle to pull myself up, a string of apologies ready at the tip of my tongue.
Careful, Bella!
We've spoken with the current owners. Well, technically, you're not yet the owners, but...
There's a brief moment of confusion, and then I'm falling. The momentum of the door swings open, pulls me back first into the mansion's foyer before I can make sense of what's happening.
Ow, 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 my back.
What the... Isabella?
No time to nurse my bruised back or make up excuses because the next thing I know, Zach's gently pulling me up right by my arm. Rose looks down at me with a mixture of apprehension and something I couldn't quite place. I'd say it's relief, but... sheesh. Good thing, Isabella. Oh, sorry, good going, Isabella. Right after you volunteered to work on the papers. And standing behind her...
Ma'am Hannah! Mr. Wright!
Oh, Isabel. We always meet in the most interesting circumstances.
A complete understatement, darling. What are they doing in my house?
Abruptly, he waves his hand at Zach and Father Norman like their presence is a slight against his own.
I thought you said you wanted to do paperwork duty. What are you doing here?
Like a deer caught in the headlights. Unfair, Rose. That's putting me on the spot. And it leaves me no other choice but to answer.
The reason why I'm here?
Well, spit it out, Lily. We don't have all day.
I'm just here to make sure everything is fine before you move in.
I'm so sorry, Mama. You said I'll go to hell if I lie. I likely will after this, but there's no other way. Well, it isn't entirely a lie. I am here to make sure no one disturbs them after they move in. It just so happens that what I'm checking for and trying to drive away is of the paranormal variety.
Oh? The house appears impeccably fine to me.
Mr. Wright shifts his eyes around in a careful manner, as if he's looking for faults in every crevice of the house. The grin on his face, though, when he returns his attention to me is similar to what my Kuya Jordan had often given me when he was up to something. Usually a scare prank that inevitably ended in me crying. I never did forget the way my brother sneered at me then. A part of me thinks that perhaps if I hadn't been the object of his mischief in childhood, I would have grown a little braver.
Come on, little Lily. Lying doesn't do that cute little face any justice. I'm a very patient man. Now, why are you really here?
Right now, I'm in the face of an almost identical expression, perhaps even crueler than what I'm used to. The lie I told falls apart.
The truth is I was just thinking we could have the house blessed before move-in day.
And why would we ever need to have this house blessed?
For luck and protection?
I shrink under his scrutinizing gaze. For a second, I think that he'll start shouting at me. Instead, he laughs. Not the mocking, jeering kind, but one wondering if he's hearing things right. I'd say he was amused, but I honestly couldn't understand what was so funny with what I just said. Was it really that weird? Wasn't it a custom here? I wish Becca was here to explain stuff like this.
That's rich coming from you. When we saw Devlin Court, you didn't.
It's a small custom back home. I thought it would be nice to do something that would bring positive energy to the mansion since this place has been empty for years.
And the papers, Isabella? I hope you did those first before this.
Of course I did. It's almost done, in fact. But there are some items I still have to double check before finalizing everything. You know I don't sign without a thorough inspection. And well, this is what this is for too. I just thought it would be more efficient to do both at the same time.
Here I thought you didn't want to go back.
A job is a job, Rose. Gotta do what you gotta do to make a living.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then go ahead. No need to be so hard on her, Rosie. I personally think it's a nice touch. I was actually thinking of the same thing, but you beat me to it.
Darling, Buttercup, please. You know these things don't work. No offense meant to the holy man, of course. That does not explain the nigger, though.
Whoa. Really, dude? All of a sudden, there's an awkward silence that even Rose, of all people, seems reluctant to break. Although a desire to do so is evident in the way her eyes nervously shifts to Mr. Wright. Meanwhile, Zach's grip on my arm suddenly tightens. He doesn't say anything further, but there's a conflicted look on him when I glance up. That's the face he makes only when he desperately wants to give someone a piece of his mind, but chooses not to do so, mostly to avoid confrontation or fanning the flames to an argument. He has always been like this, even among his own friends. He chooses to take a placating stance despite holding opinions of his own. Not that I won't say anything, I know Mr. Wright's a client, but you can't just say that in front of other people, in front of Zach no less. If Ashton were here, I know he wouldn't stand for it. And neither do I. There was a reason why bullies back home never touched my younger brother again after I gave them a taste of their own medicine. He might be inches taller than me, but I'm pretty sure I can still land a hit or two. Maybe. If only I'm not going to get in trouble with BRC for it. But before any punch could be thrown, Ma'am Hannah cuts in.
Lucille Mitchell Wright.
In a voice too firm, demanding his complete silence.
What?
Instead of answering, she merely crosses her arms and shoots her husband a sharp, disapproving glare. That seems to have done the trick. He immediately shuts his mouth, but not before muttering a few inaudible words under his breath. At this, Ma'am Hannah could only sigh and roll her eyes, more than happy to get back to the topic at hand.
I'm sure she knows what she's doing, love. She got us the house, remember? Who knows what a little positive vibe can do? It could even give us what we've been eagerly waiting for all these years.
What have we been waiting for? I don't think I was ever informed of.
Nothing you should worry about right now. Anyway, we've still got a few things we need to discuss with Rosie here. Over lunch? I hope you don't mind, Isabel. We'd love to take you with us, but...
Oh, no. Go ahead, ma'am. This'll take time. That's why there's 2 of us working on this.
Rose looks like she's about to murder someone. Probably me. At least she won't have to stay in the haunted property. She's getting the better end of this deal if anyone's going to ask me.
Oh, wonderful. I hope the next time the 3 of us meet, it'll be over a closed deal,
Of course, ma'am. Please look forward to it.
Rose hurriedly hands me the keys to the house before leaving, mouthing reminders to secure the place and harmless threats for throwing her under the bus. I return it with a reassuring smile of my own, even if she's the one who often forgets. And just like that, gone just as quickly as they appeared, fleeting from one scene to the next and leaving me wondering if this is simply what's typical for the rich and famous. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here for today. Thank you for watching. Until the next one.